Well, what the Supreme Court decides in this historic case will send shockwaves through the entire country. Fox 46 chief legal correspondent Seema Iyer tonight has been following the oral arguments this morning and joins us live now. Seema, the arguments were slotted to last 70 minutes, but went on for almost 2 hours. So what was the biggest issue most argued about?
Viability. That is what we heard about all morning, more than anything else, viability. And you heard that quote in Madeline's piece when the justice asked, is 15 weeks the line we should draw? Because I just want to remind everybody, Roe versus Wade, 1973, the viability line was 24 weeks. Now, Roe versus Wade was cemented in stone by Planned Parenthood versus Casey, and that was in 1992. So that has been the law of the land at 24 weeks. Now they're asking the justices to change that viability line to 15 weeks. And one interesting issue they're basically grappling with is, when can a fetus survive an exit from the mother? Put that picture in your head. That is what the justices have to decide. And both sides have their arguments on when the viability line should actually be imposed, or whether there should not be a viability line.
So,
Alicia?
A lot to process here, a lot to break down. So Justice Kavanaugh said during his 2018 confirmation hearings that Roe v. Wade was settled precedent. Now, that was his quote. Did he stick to that view today? And did any other justices indicate their position? I was also curious to know more about Amy Coney Barret.
Okay, so first of all, Justice Kavanaugh is known for his obsession with stare decisis, and that's basically settled precedent, case law. So today, he totally flipped the script by talking about all the cases that were overturned. And of course, he gave that quote, if we think the prior precedents are seriously wrong, if that, why then doesn't the history of this court's practice suggest that the right answer is to return to the position of neutrality? He also went back and explained that the Supreme Court should be scrupulously neutral on the question of abortion, neither pro-choice nor pro-life. And the quote that you mentioned, Alicia, that's what he said during his confirmation hearing, specifically talking about Roe versus Wade. So that was Justice Kavanaugh. Now I want to take you to the other side of the aisle, to Justice Sotomayor. And she was just so angry and almost sarcastic, and she said this: will this institution survive the stench that this creates in the public perception that the Constitution and its reading are just political acts? I don't see how it's possible. So what she seems to be saying there is, hey, we set these precedents and we don't stick to them. What does that mean? And when she refers to the Constitution, there was a lot of debate going on about the 14th Amendment. That is your right to due process. And within that right, underneath that, you have this right to privacy and right to individual liberties. And finally, Alicia, I'm going to answer your question.
Amy Coney.
Your girl, Amy Coney. Amy Coney Barret, not your girl, but you know, she asked a lot of interesting questions. She actually asked about, or brought up this point about safe haven laws, right? So let's say a mom has a baby and isn't able to take care of that baby. There are safe haven laws that will protect that child. She brought it up, and it really didn't, to me, make a lot of sense. Like, okay, just go have the baby and then leave it at the fire station? I don't know.
Well, I mean, and the reason why I asked you about Amy Coney is because I feel like during the hearings, we really didn't get a clear sense as to where she stood. So I think it was like with this, we're waiting to be able to find out more. The big question I do have for you now is, now what happens next? Okay. And when will the court decide?
Yeah, well, I do want to say, so my reading is that with Justice Amy Coney Barrett and Neil Gorsuch, couldn't really tell where they were flipping to. Clarence Thomas, Alito, Kavanaugh, they want to overrule, and then, of course, the other justices. Okay, what's happening next? We'll get an answer. Right now, they're all casting secret votes, all the justices, but we probably won't hear till June or July. Also, put on your calendar, South Carolina's heartbeat bill. I was supposed to go to the Court of Appeals next week. That's been postponed till the end of January, I'm assuming because of this historic day at the High Court, guys.